Hi, and welcome to Discovering DataFlex. My name is Johan Brodfeldt, and today we're going to look at get and post with DataFlex. So let's get right to it. Today we're going to play with web services, and we're just going to play with a simple API that I made with PHP. It takes two parameters, an A and a B. And it just returns a number multiplied by those two. Now we want to create a new workspace, and we're going to call this Webservice. And let's start. Now we have the application, and we want to create a project. This time we're going to use a Windows project. We could use a web as well, but for convenience we try a web project this time. We call it app, and in our app we would like a view. We pick a tab view and just call it main. Main view, it's the standard of DataFlex. And we remove the tab so we have a clean view, and we want to add, we want to make sure that the this view is the first thing that opens when we start to program. We flip the switch on the BP auto activate and set that to true. And you can see that the text appears in the code as well. Now we would like some buttons and form fields. So we add some forms. And we also want a button. We also would like the HTTP transfer object so that we can use the DataFlex functionality to send data via HTTP transfer. Form 1 we call A, form 2 we call B, and we want to set the value to 5 or 3 and set the value to 5, because then we don't have to type it every time we're going to do a text. So this is just preset values. And the button we call calculate. And here in the on-click event we're going to write the code for sending, and we have the last form, which is a result. So I press F7 and I get the different components. I'm just going to place them on the screen. That was A, and this is B, and this is the result. Okay, so we style them a little bit so they look nice. Let's make this a little bit smaller. That looks better. Now when we click here, what are we going to do? Let's see. we need to get the A, B, and B values. So we write string is A and is B. Then we do get value of A to is A. And we do the same for B. Now we have those. And now we do a get HTTP GET request of HTTP transfer 1, which is the object that we created up here. And we would like to add the path, so we send it to the dfvs.php, and we want to add the parameters A equals to is A and B equals to is B. We should also have a return value, and the HTTP request actually returns true or false depending on if the function returned or managed to connect to the web service or not. We also need to add a response so we can get the data back, and we do that in the on data received. So we do set result to is data. We need one more thing. We need to tell the transfer object what remote host we are using. And in this case, we're going to use my website, Johan Brodfeldt. That's where I have the web service hosted. And this should actually be enough to run. Well, let's see what has happened. We have the program. Calculate 15 and 4, 20, 5 and 25. That looks great. Now we change to a plus, and let's see what's happened. Calculate 25, that's wrong. 20 and 15, that doesn't match up. And with 2 we get 7. We got some issue, and that is because the web service is being cached. So we would like to add, in some cases caching is good, in other cases you might not want caching. But if you don't want caching, you could add a random number or a date or something, just to say that you would like a new version of this file. So here I'm going to create a random number and add that to the iCache, and then I'm going to add that to the path in the URL. And the no cache is just value. Sometimes I use V for version, or you could, it's just a name. It just has to be different than the last request. And we cannot just put an integer here, because then the pluses will do the calculation and you will just get 0 of the whole entire string. So we need to cast this to a string. Let's see how it goes. Now 3 is 8, 4 is 9, and 5 is 10. And if we change to multiplication again, we should get 25, and that's correct. 20 and 15. Great. Now we would like the post version, so we change this to post. But there are some other things we need to do in order to make a post request. First of all, we need to create a new string that has the data we're going to send. And we need to move the parameters to that string. And that's the A to B. And we leave the no cache because that is probably useful even in this case. But this is not enough. We also need to make sure that the web service get the correct header information. So we start by clearing headers on the transfer object, and then we do a get add header, and set that to content type, application xvvv from URL encoded, and to IOK, because this is only returning true or false if the add header is successful. And now let's try this and see if that works. No, we got an error. Okay, so we're missing something. Yeah, we don't have the data. We need to add the data to the string here as well. We're not going to add it in the URL. We're going to add that last to the string data and false, and the false is because it's not a file, so we're not sending any, there's not a path to a file, it's data we're sending. And now it should work better. Yep, 3 times 5 is 15, 4, 20, and 5, 25. So that seems to work. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and we have some interesting videos coming up soon, I think.